Hello, this is Dave here, high school principal of the American School Foundation of Guadalajara. Here's a slideshow that I will just speak to as I click through the photos. Low production quality here, just kind of throwing this together, and the photos vary in age from over 10 years ago to just a couple months ago. I've been there for a while, as you'll be able to tell. And they're no particular order necessarily, but just speaking to each of them, I think, will give candidates who are applying to our school to work a good idea of what it's like and who we are. So here we go. This is a photo of a Dia de los Muertos altar, which is a beautiful Mexican holiday, Mexican tradition to honor loved ones who have passed on. This particular one can barely make out in the photos, where it was an altar dedicated to the victims of 9/11. So this was actually in 2001, just a few short months after that. It's a great day because it really highlights our biculturalism at our school. Because on this particular day, Halloween, is an American holiday that falls roughly around the Day of the Dead. So we have we cancel classes for the day and have a wonderful parade around the school where students dress up in costumes. Kindergarten, pre-kinder students dress up. So it's just a great way to celebrate both cultures on this day. Here's Carlos Ochoa, former student of mine, volunteering at an orphanage. Our service learning program is important to us, and high school students work in a variety of different service organizations and service opportunities, ranging from organizations that focus on sustainability and the environment to working with children, working with old folks, working for example, women who are imprisoned, working with their children, just lots of different, working with sort of Doctors Without Borders type group that fly into Guadalajara and perform surgeries on poor children who have cleft lips. It's a great program, and it is very, very important to us. It's just kind of a photo of kind of a daily life for students during what we call recess. And this is an intramural program where teachers often participate too. I think we beat the students in this particular tournament of Ultimate Frisbee. Here's a typical senior class. This is quite a few years ago too, I believe. This must be the senior class from 2005 or so. I recognize all those guys there, but normal looking high school kids, of course. Just some of our students, younger students, working in a science lab. We value inquiry-based learning, especially in the sciences, but certainly in all subjects, and have good lab equipment and good laboratories to support that. Here's my wife, Stephanie, and I. Where is this? This must be at El Diente, which is probably 30 minutes away from our house. And our house is about a 5-minute drive from the school, probably 15-minute walk to school. So it's easy in Guadalajara to get out into the surrounding campo, as they would say in Spanish, into the surrounding, outdoors. And this is a particular part of Guadalajara that is very popular among climbers, because you can't see any here, but there are these, great sort of rock spires that jut out from the landscape that you'll always see climbers on. This is Parque Colomos. There's my wife and daughter. This is kind of sort of the central park of Guadalajara, in the sense that it's certainly in the middle of the urban setting, but beautiful, beautiful trees and scenery. There's a Japanese garden in this park, and very, very accessible and very close to school and close to where most teachers live. This is just another festival. I think this was during Art Week at our school, where we invited what's called a batucada. It's a troupe of African drummers to come and talk a little bit about their instruments and just play for us, so we can enjoy. This is another service group I was involved in, where what you'll know about Mexican culture is that it's very, very rich visual art history. These are murals painted by Jose Clemente Orozco, a very famous Mexican muralist. And this is at the Hospicios Cabaña, which is downtown Guadalajara. Absolutely beautiful. So some of our students went out, took some students who were serving time in a halfway house, had just finished serving time at a juvenile detention center, and very likely, if had not gone on this trip with our students, probably never would have been down to see this beautiful cultural artifact in Guadalajara. So again, the service programs we're very proud of. This here on this side is our famous Noche Bohemia, which is our Bohemian night. Bit of an open mic night that we do under the stars on our campus in a beautiful high school quad. And just students and teachers alike are welcome to come up and sit down and strum out a tune and recite poetry, do a monologue, and then we try to project student visual art in the background. And here's like a typical physics lesson. We like to get the students out and exploring the real world and in their inquiry-based approach. And they're probably doing something on, well, acceleration, probably. There you go. And this is our annual Peace Day, organized by the Model United Nations class and club. We all wear white in high school, and just during the 2 breaks, we just come out and celebrate and do some talks about the various organizations that we're supporting. We did a sort of a drum circle along with a chorus. There's me playing my djembe right there. Fun day. How can I scroll down? Yes, sorry. There's my mother-in-law and my daughter. This is again at Parque Colomos. They have a cactus garden in that park that I was telling you about. There she is. There's Carly, a few years ago, riding the pony at that same park. This is our Model United Nations group. They're a very highly successful program at our school. They travel all over the world. I think they were getting ready in this particular one for a trip to either Moscow or China. I don't remember, but very, very good program here. Here's our science lab, or our computer lab. This is actually an outdated photo because all the students have MacBook Pros now. So in this particular lab now, we still have a few PC computers to run some of the programming software that we use. But we have a one-to-one laptop program in our school from 7th through 12th grade, and the students all have MacBook Pros, as I said. This is the high school quad, kind of just a typical second break recess where students are either doing their homework, and I'll walk up to them and say, "You meant homework is for home." But anyway, I know they have busy lives, and they get their work done whenever they see fit, right? Our library. These are some middle school students. This picture is also old. These guys are actually seniors now. In this particular photo, they look like maybe 6th graders. There's Senkowski. Yeah, these are seniors now. Monse. This is our drama troupe here, doing just a regular class during the day. We very much value our drama program. It's such a wonderful way for our students. No, here we go. Good. What? How did that happen? Okay, let's just keep going. How do I get out of here? I hope this is still recording well. Sorry. Revert to original. That's not going to help. Sorry. There we go. This is it's just a typical classroom. This is Serena, our social studies department head, with her students. An art class, a photography class actually. There's Anna Marva working away. There's our math teacher working with one of the students. So this is how we try to get out and have fun as a faculty. These 2 pictures speak to a bowling trip that we try to take every year with our high school faculty, and we'll team up and throw in a little competition. And here's some guys taunting, and then her, after presumably a strike, throwing it right back in their face. This is a photo of the Primavera, which is a wonderful ecological reserve. It's a national forest. From my house to drive there would probably take less than 40 minutes, probably 30 minutes on a Sunday morning, and it's just wonderful. It's got tons of hiking trails, biking trails. There's a hot spring there, and it's just really a nice way to just escape and unwind if you're one who likes to connect with nature. This is one of our seniors presenting to, it looks like an early childhood class about his senior project, and he built a teepee and is in authentic ways as he knew how, and tried to show the students a little bit about what he learned. And there he is, helping students understand what he learned in his senior project. Here's Leo, our high school counselor, one of our seniors, planning the rest of his life for him, planning his college studies. A typical high school English classroom. Our classroom, these are seniors. There's Don Horacio, who actually retired last year. He's one of our security guards that very popular on campus. I think another science lab. These are 9th graders, I think. And there's some students presenting on some of the books that they've read. This one's The Prince. There's my daughter. God, would kill me if she she knew it. I was showing this one. This is again one of the hikes in the area. This is El Diente, which I referred to earlier. So this isn't even one of the bigger ones, but there are these giant boulders, some boulders and rock spires that climbers. They're very popular among climbers, and oftentimes you'll see people bouldering, which is a new sport, at least to me. It's one of the beautiful things about living in Guadalajara is that you can, in an hour and 2 hours, just make it to these really small, cool colonial towns that, just are a pleasure to spend the weekend at. This is on the way to a town called Tapalpa, which actually looks nothing like this. This is a dried out river, sort of a salt flat. That's actually my sister, who flew down with her husband and spent some time with us in Guadalajara. Another huge benefit, I think, to geographically where we are. We're the same time zone as the States, and we're not that far away, yet it's culturally a very different experience than what you'll find in the States. Mexico is, obviously the language is more accessible, but it's Spanish, it's wonderful. And culturally it's a very different experience than it is typically living in the U.S., but it's also close enough where family and friends can come down and visit and check out the sites. Just trying to get the colorful classrooms up there, being American. Gotta love some of their takes on American influence here and there, for better or for worse sometimes. I like being American, so it's just love to get the students thinking and analyzing and just being critical of everything, right? That's kind of their jobs at that age, which is good. So students will reflect on. Anyway, this just typical stuff that we try to make learning real for the students and make it relevant whenever possible. It should be always, really. One of the best things for me working at the school is that it's nursery through 12th grade. So we have 3 to 19-year-olds all on the same campus. So you'll often see high school students working with their buddies from other grade levels, whether it's a reading partnership or our physics class will often go visit some elementary students and talk about some physics concepts, certainly at their level. And it's just a nice community because we're all there on one campus, and it's just one of my favorite things is just walking down the hall randomly. A little troop of 5-year-olds will be walking by, and like a high school kid will throw out his hand and slap all the kids' hands, and the kids get all excited about it. They look up to the high school kids as gods, as just the absolute rock stars on campus. This is a group of seniors who went to Chiapas a number of years ago, part of our Week Without Walls program. Their Week Without Walls is typically a week in March where we just close classes and students sign up for one of 2 general categories of opportunity. They either go on an overnight, usually international trip, although this one in particular is Chiapas, which is obviously not international. That's in Mexico, but that it's loosely aligned with either the social studies curriculum or some major component of that grade level's curriculum. So 9th graders, for example, go to Boston, which is now more related to their science and math courses because it's got a biomedical, a medical, and a university focus to it. So in Boston, we're going to Mass General, we're going to the Tufts research centers, we're going to some sort of startup biomedical firms, and then we're also going to a lot of the universities in the area so they can visit and see what college life is like. In 10th grade, they go to Germany and study World War II and then elements of the Cold War. 11th grade typically go to Washington because they take U.S. history in 11th, of course. And then 12th grade, we're always trying to figure out where to bring the 12th graders, because it varies depending on the year. This is Agua Azul, I think, in Chiapas. I think another great part about living in Mexico is there's so many wonderful places to visit, and most of which are still very, very safe. Chiapas is safe and hasn't really seen much of, the violence that we read about in American media and Mexican media as well. But Guadalajara is, still considered a very, relatively safe area, not entrenched by any means in the war on drugs, and Puerto Vallarta, Mexico City, Chiapas. There's a great many places in Mexico that our teachers still travel to. I don't know, just another typical classroom, typical students. This is our mentor. This is a mentoring class. Every high school teacher and professional counselor, administrator has a group of, it usually ends up being 9 to 12 students, and kind of a homeroom concept, but it's more of a mentorship, academic mentorship and social emotional mentorship, in addition to teaching a human development curriculum that we have. So it's just a time for students and teachers to connect outside of the realm of particular curriculum that the teacher is teaching. This is my mentor group from a few years back. More shots, more photos here. This was a day where we had a speaker come and talk about I can't remember the name of it now, something 350. But it's basically 350 is an organization that, it's basically an anti-global warming, anti-CO2, nonprofit, because they basically, 350 parts per million is what our atmosphere can sort of sustainably withhold or maintain life as we know it. And currently, I don't remember the numbers, but currently we're up around like 400 parts per million. So their point is to try to make conscious to everybody that 350 is our target, and it's going to take a lot to get there. So we had the students all form into this 350, and actually sent this photo to their organization, and they posted it on their online. This is another 350 event. This is another picture of Week Without Walls, where I think I'm in this photo. Maybe I took the photo, but I went on this trip. It was a mountain bike trip that we took essentially from pretty far outside Guadalajara down to Puerto Vallarta, and went on these back roads. It wasn't much of a single track trip, but mostly dirt roads the whole way, and we camped out, and it was a wonderful, wonderful experience. Yeah, there it is. Sweet, sweet time. That was fun. So anyway, that's it. And I hope you enjoyed the photos, and if you have any questions, please let me know. It's a pleasure to share with you who we are as a school, who we are as a community. It's a place that I've fallen in love with. My wife and I have brought up our 2 kids there, and couldn't be happier with our lives professionally and personally and socially in Guadalajara, Mexico. And I hope through these photos you've seen that. Enjoy. Thank you for watching.